Hi, and welcome back to Rolling Hills Soul Care Podcast. My name is Jozzy, and I'm here with Chuck. How are you, Chuck?
Hi, Jozzy. I am doing great today.
You are doing great?
Great.
We're recording this right after spring break in Oregon. And I know you don't have secondary or elementary aged kids in your home anymore.
Not anymore.
But did you still get to enjoy, we had really good weather break?
We had 2 whole days, 3 actually, I guess, of great weather.
I definitely remember seeing the sun at least once last week.
I went out and shot pictures of cherry trees in bloom. So
those are my favorite pictures. And also, I love that you paused right after the word shot, because I really wanted to know where that was going to go. I was ready.
I went out and shot.
I was ready to hear.
Not the hunter here. I hunt with my camera. So.
Oh, that's an excellent segue. Speaking of hunting,
yes.
You're going to read a blog post about seeking treasure, right?
Treasure.
Yes, I love it. This is post 105. Take it away.
All right. Yeah, it's called Seeking Treasure. It's a little bit like pirates, but we will not talk like a pirate today.
Oh.
So here's what I wrote. Treasure is something that frequently evokes mystery and adventure. Throughout time, people have sought after treasure. We often read stories or watch movies about people seeking after treasure that are buried or hidden. Even the Bible uses the word treasure as something to be pursued. One example is Proverbs 2, 3 through 5. It says, "Indeed, if you call out for insight and cry aloud for understanding, and if you look for it as for silver, and search for it as for hidden treasure, then you will understand the fear of the Lord, and find... So what is it that you will find? The remaining 4 words in that verse answer the question. It's the knowledge of God. Do you want to go on the ultimate treasure hunt? You won't need to dig deep into the earth or bring pans to sift for glittery nuggets. Nope. Instead, God invites us into a totally different kind of treasure hunt. In Colossians 2, 2 and 3, the Apostle Paul tells us of one of his primary ministry objectives. Quote, "My goal is that they may be encouraged in heart and united in love, so that they may have the full riches of complete understanding, in order that they may know the mystery of God, namely Christ, in whom are hidden all the treasures of wisdom and knowledge." I don't know about you, but when I read a passage of the Bible like that one, I tend to start thinking of things that I should do to improve my knowledge and understanding. Maybe I should read the Bible more often. Maybe I should do more Bible studies, or take a class, or study the Greek language. And while all those things are good, they are also things that focus my efforts on doing instead of being. It's interesting that while God does encourage us to spend time in His Word, He also gives us a rather straightforward bit of instruction to follow. Psalm 46:10 says, "Be still and know that I am God." Be still. I'm not good at that, but that's what God tells me I need to do. Be still. Seek Him out by quieting my mind and opening it up for Him to communicate clearly to me. Take time to simply sit in His presence, tune out the craziness of the world around me, and tune into the one who is waiting to reveal to me all the treasures of wisdom and the full riches of complete understanding. Be still and allow Jesus to fill our hearts and minds with love and truth. Be still and listen for His voice. Be still and know that I am God. And as Linus might have said, that's what soul care is all about, Charlie Brown. So we can go on a treasure hunt by being still. And I closed with Isaiah 45:3. I will give you hidden treasures, riches stored in secret places, so that you may know that I am the Lord, the God of Israel, who summons you by name.
Wow, there's so much in here, Jack. I just felt like, as you're reading, just kind of relating hard all over again to all the things that you said, because I know that I'm one of the first people who, when I want to find something out, or when when I'm looking for understanding, I'll sit there and I'll whine about it. And I'll be like, how come I can't? How come I can't? Come on, tell me, God, how come I can't understand it? I'll sit and whine first. But then when I get around to, quit being a baby about it, I do exactly what you said. I'm like, oh, there's things that we should do. I should be seeking and I should be going to this class and doing that and everything. And both of those things are just what we do. Like, it's taking so much on ourselves and assuming that we have the power to figure all that stuff out. I always forget to go further into the wait, God comes to us.
And learning isn't wrong.
Oh, sure.
I enjoy, like you do, learning. I will do a lot of reading to just deepen my understanding and get empathy for different people and situations. But am I doing that at the expense of the opportunity to sit quietly and listen? And that often means, I don't think it means that God isn't talking. It just means we are not yet tuned in. So being still enough to tune in and hear what it is he's having to say. And that's another opportunity to learn. And it's a promise to us that, when he talks, we ought to be paying attention. So, and he's talking to us all the time. So we do need to be still.
Right. Because we often, well, I say I should make sure I claim this. I often am grumpy about but we don't have burning bushes anymore. And God doesn't just make neon signs and stuff like that, and get frustrated that I know that God's talking all the time, but how do I, like you said, tune out the craziness and find his actual words? And it's a practice. You've talked so much about silence and solitude. Yeah. And until I actually had someone literally walking me through the idea of now just empty your mind. You think of something, toss it out, and figuring out how to take those things, decide which ones are distractions and which ones are truly God speaking to us. That's a hard practice to get into.
It is. I started to say, unfortunately, it takes a lot of time. It's not unfortunate. We just don't often budget that time.
Yes, exactly. We'll decide we're too busy. And again, I should stop saying we. Yeah, I decided.
Yeah. No, and I think, well, I know that it's true for me, even though I continue to reinforce this. I've told you many times, I write these mostly for myself. But it's a discipline. And as with anything, starting small is typically how one gets better at doing something.
Very true.
So for those who are in the same boat you and I are in, the idea of sitting silently waiting on God for half a day would be the same as asking them to fly to the moon. They're gonna.
Yeah.
I can't do that.
That's not on my calendar, Chuck.
Can I be silent for 5 to 10 minutes as a starting point, and then expand from there? It'd be like a physical activity that if I want to run a marathon, I don't start practicing for that by running a marathon. Maybe somebody does. I don't run marathons and I never will. But
Amen.
With exercise or with a discipline, involving yourself in any type of sporting event or any type of craft item, you don't start out with expertise typically. Some people are really gifted at things. So can we start small and then trust that God will help us to grow? And the answer to that is yes, we can. But it does require some discipline on our part to keep coming back.
We have to take the step. And I love that we have the promise. What we have to do is be still, and we sit there and we know why we're there. We know he is God. And the promise that, the treasures will come.
Yeah, and they're called hidden treasures, I think, for a reason. God, they're hidden not in a way that we can't find them, but that God does want us to seek him to find them. Mm-hmm. So when you go on this treasure hunt, I don't need tools. I need time. I need a heart that's open. I need a mind that's open to, spending time with God, hearing from Him. And then He's very willing, and He desires to reveal it to us.
Yeah, I
So-
feel like God shows up.
Yeah, it's not like, hey, there's hidden treasures, and if I sit here long enough, maybe He'll show me. He says He will. So let's go find Him. And
All right.
that's again, I'm writing this to me. So I need to go on it's a daily treasure hunt. And continue to learn, and those riches. I guess where my mind went was mostly being stored up for us in heaven, but they play out here as we learn things that we can then gift to others through the Holy Spirit working through us. So it's not about treasure for ourselves. It's how do we allow God to work through us? And that's what He's trying to tell us. And so,
Oh man, that's another whole blog post.
it is. Well, maybe I should write about it.
You write this down, and then we'll work on that next week. Oh, well, thank you so much for that insight and honestly, good words. Now we all need to go find a dark room and be still. But nope, I have no good segue there. Okay, if you're listening to this, you found the podcast. Great job. Always, you can subscribe if you'd like to. We will have more soul care words from Chuck. Also, our Sunday teachings are on that same Rolling Hills feed, wherever you find your podcasts. If you want to read the blogs, there's a treasure trove of many, many months of posts from Chuck. You can find that by following RH Worship on Instagram. There's a link there. You can also go to rollinghills.org/worship. And yeah, we'll see you next time. Thanks so much, Chuck.
Okay, thanks, Chauncey.
Bye.